Morning, students. In this class, we are going to discuss some of the layers. So we have already seen physical layer, data link layer, and a network layer. Okay. Now, okay. So transport layer. The transport layer is responsible for ensuring that all the data is delivered error-free and in correct sequence. So a process to process delivery of entire message. It is concerned with the process to process delivery of the entire message. So this layer receive the data from the sessions layer and break up the large messages into small packets. Okay, and then it transmit to network layer. Again, on the other end, from the network layer, the data received by the transport layer and passed to the sessions layer. Okay. Now, you see what are the various functions of a transport layer. Okay. So, service point addressing. The computer always runs several programs at the same time. For this reason, the source to destination delivery means so delivery not only from one computer to another computer, but also for a specific process, that is a running process on one computer to running process on another computer. Okay, so the transport layer header must include a type of address. It is called the service point address or port address. Okay, then segmentation and reassembly. Here a message is divided into segments. Each segment contains a sequence number, that is a unique number. These numbers enable the transport layer to reassemble the message correctly, arriving at the destination, and to identify and replace the packet that were lost in the transmissions. So segments. Okay, each segment has a number and transmit it. Then at the other end, it reassembly the messages by using these segment numbers. Okay, then connection control. The transport layer can be either connectionless or connection oriented. Let us consider the connectionless. The connectionless transport layer treats each segment as an independent packets and deliver to the transport layer at the destination machine. In the connection oriented transport layer, it makes a connection with your transport layer at the destination machine before delivering the packets. So after all the data are transmitted, the connection is automatically terminated. Okay. Then flow control. So the data link layer also contains the flow control. Here also flow control. We use the flow control mechanism. So the transport layer is responsible for flow control. The flow control at this layer is performed to end rather than across a single link. The single link is performed in the data link layer, whereas here end to end. Then error control. Similarly, the data link layer also contains the error control. Okay. So like data link layer, the transport layer is responsible for error control. So error control at this layer is performed process to process rather than across a single link. Okay, so data link layer performed a single link, whereas here process to process. So the sending transport layer makes sure that the entire message arrives at the receiving transport layer without error, that is damage or loss or duplication. So error correction is usually achieved through the retransmission. Okay, suppose if some packets are missing, then it asks the sender to retransmit it. Okay. Then sessions layer. The session layer receive the data from the presentation layer and transmit to transport layer. So like that, other end, from the transport layer, sessions layer, then which it transmit to presentation layer. Okay. The transport layer is responsible for which ensures all the data is delivered error-free and in correct sequence. So what happens? These layers break up the large messages into smaller packets for delivery. Okay. Let me see the functions of the sessions layer. So the dialog control. The sessions layer allow two systems to enter into a dialog. That is, it allows the communication between two processes to take place in either half duplex or full duplex mode. Then synchronization. Second function is a synchronization. This layer allows a process to add a checkpoints or synchronization points. So synchronization points. For example, we take a system send a file whose size is a 2000 bytes. Then we have to enter a checkpoint after every 100 pages to ensure that each 100-page unit is received and acknowledged independently. Okay. Suppose that this is 100, 100, 100, etc. Okay. For 2000 pages, we need 20 synchronizations points, okay, or checkpoints. Suppose that if a crash happened during the transmission of page number 525, assume that, okay, then only page that need to resend after system recovery are from page number 501 to 525. The previous pages we need not send, only the particular segment that we can send. So that is the synchronization. Then next one is a presentation layer. So the presentation layer receive the data from the application layer and send it to sessions layer, like that on the other hand. Okay. The presentation layer ensures that the application layer of one system send out is readable by the application layer of the another system. The presentation layer translates between multiple data format by using a common format. Okay, whatever may be the data format. So first it transmit into common format. That common format is passes to the next layer, like that. This layer receive the common format and then it transmit to the its format, that is its readable format. Now let me see the functions. So translation, encryption, and compression. So the translation, that is the running process in two systems, are usually exchange information in the form of text or character string, etc. Okay. Now the information must be changed to bit stream before transmitted, because different computer uses different encoding systems. Therefore, this layer is responsible for interoperability between these different encodings. That is, the presentation layer at the sender changes the information from its sender dependent format into common format. On the receiving end, from common format to receiver dependent format, it translates. Okay, then encryption. So encryption means change the message into different format. That, and suppose that an individual received that message, means he could not understand. Okay, so that is the encryption. So encryption means that the sender transform the original message into another form and send the resulting message over the network. Then at the other end, the receiver decrypt the message into original message. Okay. So what is called the encryption. Then compression. So compression reduces the number of bits. So data compression becomes important in the transmission of the multimedia messages such as the audio and video. Okay, so we can compress a file into smaller one for transmission. Then the last layer is an application layer. So this is the user layer. So the human or the program can interact with the system. Okay. So the application layer is closest to the user and it provides network application to the user applications. This layer does not provide services to any other OSI layer, but only to the application to the outside OSI layer. For example, the application layer uses the spreadsheet programs, then word processing programs. Here, the functions used in the application layers are the virtual terminal, that is the network virtual terminal, VCI, we called it is a VCI. So it is a software version of a physical terminal and it allows the user to log on to a remote computer. So the application creates a software of a terminal at the remote host. Then the user computer talks to the software terminal, which in turn talks to the other host and vice versa. Okay, for login to remote computer to access the data. And hence the remote computer believes it communicating with one of its own terminal and allow the user to log in. Okay. Then file transfer and access management. Okay. Here, the applications allow a user to access file in a remote computer, to retrieve the file from remote computer for the use of the local computer, and then it manages or controls the files in the remote computer locally. Okay. Then mail services, this is the using the electronic mails. So this provides the basis of the email forwarding and storage. Then the directory services. This application provides the distributed database sources and access for a global information about various objects and services. Okay. So these are the functions of the application layer. Then, so this is the summary of all the layers physical to application. So what is the functions of the physical layer means? To transmit the bits over the medium. So whatever may be the medium, and to provide the mechanical and electrical specification. So that is the data are converted into waves, that is the signals, and then it transmits over the physical link. Then data link layer to organize the bit into frames. Okay, the message is converted into frames to provide to machine delivery. Then network layer to move the packets from source to destination to provide internetworking. Okay, so packets here, the messages are converted into packets and then it transmit from source to destination. Then transport layer to provide the reliable process to process message delivery and error recovery. So error recovery and flow controls are done in the transport layer. Then sessions layer, so establish, manage and transmit the sessions. Then presentation layer to translate, encrypt and compress the data. Then the application layer to allow access to the network resources. So these are the various layers in the OSI model. Okay. Suppose that we want to send the message from one system to another system, and two machines are on different architectures and operating systems. Okay, then we use the OSI model to transmit the message from one system to another